So when not using a custom EQ, I noticed already a few things. The sound is terrible out of the box, really not great. And I've noticed also this with the smallest SOUNDCORE speaker, the SOUNDCORE 3. Like, I have to be honest, with the SOUNDCORE Motion Plus and also with like the boom, so the smaller one of this one, the normal EQ was also not great. But I kinda have the feeling that Anchor really isn't even trying to like tune the speaker great or good out of the packaging. You really have to use a custom EQ on this speaker, especially also on this one. And like with the Motion Plus and the Motion Boom, again, a custom EQ does improve the sound, but the normal EQ at least was acceptable. There's just one problem with custom EQs, and that's always a discussion with me and with some other people. A custom EQ is great to improve audio, even on other speakers, but then with the EQ of your phone, for example. But an EQ can always downgrade the sound quality on higher volumes. So for example, in this test, I have put the speaker on around 80% volume. And really, if you put it higher, the sound quality is really not great. And this is also with the other SOUNDCORE speakers. But also with JBL, Sony, and so on. Because a custom EQ, even if one is built in the app or in the speaker, it always goes a little bit against its roots or against its own settings that it normally is producing. I know it's kind of weird, but it's really a little bit of the truth. So yeah, I will play a few other songs to also see how those perform. And I will do a short comparison now to the Motion Boom in this video, just to let you guys see the difference. So we'll start with the Boom, and then we go to the Boom Plus. I do have to inform you guys that this will be the custom EQ test, because the normal EQs really are way off on both speakers, so it isn't really comparable. So let's just start with the smaller speaker, and then go to the new big brother. So I have to be honest, on a video maybe it looks like this one is better because it moves a lot more, the passive is at least. I have a discussion lately with a guy on YouTube that is like saying, yeah, this has to move a lot, it's much better bass. Not fully true. Of course you do need to see them move a bit, especially on bass heavy speakers. But in this test I have to be honest, the bigger brother definitely sounds a little bit better and stronger in the bass response. But I expected it to be a little bit better, because I have to be honest, in this comparison it's a little bit more powerful, and of course it's bigger, more power output and so on. It has more wattage, but I have to be honest, I kind of expect a little bit more power of it. And the treble is really annoying. I tried my best with an EQ, and the EQ does do its job most of the time, but the treble is really actually a little bit terrible on this like new speaker. And they claim it does 40 kilohertz and so on, and maybe that's the problem. It sounds just too harsh, really too harsh and really out of control. I'm not sure why it sounds like this without an EQ. If you use the EQ, you can improve this by really adjusting it 90% away. But of course you do need a little bit treble, or it will sound very muffled like this one without an EQ. But I have to be honest, it's really kind of weird. And this is also something I always had with SOUNDCORE speakers. They're really great, good value, but it is not for a normal customer, because you do need to change the sound. And of course, everybody has different sound perspective. For example, I do like a little bit of bass, but especially it has to be clear without too harsh highs. So midtones are not really important for my use, for example. But there are some people that prefer the midtones, and I do have to say the midtones are alright on the new SOUNDCORE speaker. They are there, and even with a normal EQ, it's fine. But just the treble, for me it's annoying. Just too much, really too much, as you could maybe see in the previous test with only the big speaker. It's just not I expect a little bit more. It's a little bit just too, I'm not sure. I know it has to be a little bit of a speaker to tune it to your way, but yeah, I have to be honest, you do need the EQ, definitely. It's a great speaker, but definitely use an EQ, because without an EQ, this one even also had a little bit of that problem, but this one was alright. It was okay without any custom EQ, but no highs, for example. But with the new SOUNDCORE, it's just like, I'm not sure. It sounds just too off, way too off to any frequencies. So yeah, as I mentioned before, the bigger one is definitely more powerful, but I'm not sure if I would say like you should get a bigger speaker, because I have to be honest, this one is already not small. Like for example, if you have like the smaller SOUNDCORE 3, this is really a compact speaker. Or the Motion Plus, I still have it around here. Maybe not looking the best anymore, but it's still there and still working fine. This is really still an incredible speaker. And I personally think this one was the best till now. And of course, the other ones have more like body, more power output. But for example, this one has aptX, Bluetooth codec, so very good, clear Bluetooth connection. And the other speakers just use normal Bluetooth, and I'm not sure why they downgraded on that kind of level. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will definitely make more comparisons, also to the Xiaomi Bomber, so my very big bass speaker. So let's just see how that will be performing.